Hello, Gemini. Okay, so shuffling the cards. I'm going to cut them shortly in just a few more seconds. Okay, so your first card is a King of Wands reversed. I have Temperance in reverse. This is Six of Cups. I have the Moon. This is a Ten of Swords. I have Death. Five of Wands. I have King of Swords. And then I have the Lovers. And by the way, Lovers is associated with Gemini, by the way. So very interesting here. Okay, so I see a lot of fire. Not only just with Death and the Moon. Look at how she has a torch of fire. And then you have Death, this helmet of fire, which obviously sometimes Death, fire brings change. It's not always about being associated with hell. But you also have that Five of Wands and the King of Wands here as well. So when I look at this imagery of fire in your spread, and fire is nurtured by air, I get a feeling that you've been really annoyed and irritated about some of the things that have been going on over the summer. Keep in mind, Temperance is reversed, and then you have a Six of Cups, someone from the past, missing someone, emotional memories of the past. So what I get here, especially with this first three cards in your past, I get the feeling that someone was out of your life, and this summer some of you Gemini spent a lot of time just trying to get over it. When Temperance is reversed, this is the card of peace and joy and happiness, and when it is in reverse, we're definitely looking at emotions turned upside down. Sometimes it can mean our emotions and our feelings taking over, and that's why she's got these two cups in both hands, and they're both balanced. They both give and receive. But when I see this Temperance in reverse, clearly there's a little bit of emotions being out of whack, and just, it means that maybe you've lost control over your emotions, or someone has lost control over their feelings and they can't help it. And so it seems like this King of Wands reverse, which could represent another person, there's a lot of pushback. This person is controlling, or this person made a decision that you weren't happy with. That's one scenario. And it's caused a lot of emotional pushback, that you're not happy. It turned your world upside down. And then we have that Six of Cups as well, where sometimes this can mean a person from the past coming back. That certainly could be the case. But also Six of Cups could be about missing someone and living in the past as well. And I think you need to be careful of that. But I definitely feel that there was a break for some of you in your relationships. And usually the Six of Cups, it's a more positive sense. If it was reversed, then I would feel that there was a lot of pain in those memories and you're still holding on. So I feel like some of you have had to deal with someone coming from your past coming back, and emotionally it's just thrown you out of whack. And this seems to be reinforced here because now it seems as if with the moon you have this fear, and this is another major arcana card. So you've got 4 major arcana cards here. And that means that you've gone through a lot of difficulties and transitions in your life, dealing with a lot of things that have blindsided some of you and you didn't see it coming. So what happens here with this moon, we're being prepared for danger. Our spidey sense, our intuition's kicking in. And Gemini, because you're an air sign, you are capable of being very intuitive. You do think a lot, just like most air signs. You think through things a lot, especially now that we have that 10 of Swords, which is obviously associated with air. And so I get the feeling that there's been a lot of turbulence where emotionally you have been sort of blindsided. And it's also, for some of you, this death card, things that have come to an abrupt ending that have kind of thrown you off balance here. So in this middle row, I see a very difficult change, transition, and ending that some of you are dealing with right now. And I don't know how else to describe it, especially with this Temperance card in reverse and this King of Wands. I get the feeling that things came to a head in some of your relationships for some of you Geminis, and you're like, I'm done. Or there was a decision, you know, you were afraid of a decision that was about to happen, and it did happen. You know, your instincts were right. You were like afraid that something was coming, that something wasn't right in this relationship. And then you have that 10 of Swords, that betrayal. You have that things, you know, and it's almost as if you were just completely taken off guard with this decision or this event. Okay. And sometimes the 10 of Swords can mean lack of trust. It's just a very toxic relationship. And you're constantly in fear with this energy of the moon. You're afraid that something bad's going to happen. And then death comes along and just ends it. It just gets you out of there. And so when we look at your future, I do see some turbulence here because I'm trying to figure out, like Gemini, I already see a King of Swords that's in reverse that made things difficult for you. So I kind of see still a little bit a King of Wands in reverse, mind you. And so I see that 5 of Wands with the fallout. And here you are with your King of Swords asserting yourself and trying to make the best of it and get back on track. And with the Lovers card, as I said, the Lovers is associated with Gemini. So this is not coincidence for you, Gemini, that not only do you have a King of Swords, which is an air sign, but you have your major arcana card here with this Gemini, the duality, the union. And I get a feeling that the way this story plays out is that, one, I think that you, whatever this event is, I think that you're going to defend yourself here with this 5 of Wands. You're going to work through this issue. And I also feel as if you're going to confront, you might need to confront someone. With the King of Swords, I see you just winning. I see this as coming out of this 5 of Wands and coming out of the fire, especially with death and the King of Wands reversed. I see you coming out of this winning. And that's when we have the Lovers, that duality, that togetherness. And I would even say for some of you, this could be a new relationship. That some of you in some ways are picking yourselves up from what happened here in the first row in the past, and that you've gone through a lot of difficult changes and transitions and letting go and just walking away with the death, the energy of death. And so this brings you to a new beginning with the Lover's card, a new hope. Okay, so yeah, I think that for some of you, it could have been a very difficult summer dealing with certain people. And maybe you've had to put your foot down and you've had to go into the fire, so to speak, that you've had to address, just confront those issues head on in the relationship and say, I'm not tolerating this anymore. So it's very interesting that you have a Ten of Swords and Death, which are both about closure. Tens are always about the ending and then beginning again. And Death is about closure as well. Now, this is your outcome card that fell out. It's the Wheel of the Year, and this means a change in luck. That's good. It means change is coming. And just a reminder, sometimes you need to go through something like death in order for change, for good things to happen, but you can't be afraid of it. And I know that also there's some of you who are in relationships that are very toxic and bad for you, and you're afraid to let go, but at the same time you know that it can't continue for very long. That in between, like, I know this is going to end, but I can't let go right now. Some of you might be in that situation, but you need to realize that once you're brave enough to let go and say, you know what, being alone is better than going through all of this drama and pain, you are truly liberated. And so this Wheel of the Year, and this is your 5th major arcana card. All I can say to you, Geminis, is embrace the change. Change is coming. It's going to be a good change. The Lovers is bringing contentment and joy not only within yourself, but a freer connection with new people, a new relationship, and you're probably going to feel very liberated and wonder why you didn't do it sooner. Okay, so that was your reading. Thank you for being patient, but I hope you're having a wonderful summer, and I'll talk to you again next month.